You as young people, you stand on the threshold of your future. You are also standing at the threshold of our country's future. The choices you make now shape both you and your country. Of course, Bishop really emphasized that there are consequences to your actions, there are consequences to the choices you make. A very simple consequence is you that came here today, and as students, you're going to earn 50,000 shillings. But there's also another broke person somewhere roaming around the city who's not going to get the 50,000, but they were invited and they chose not to come. Simple illustration of the impact of the choices that you make. So translate that into bigger choices that you make that impact you as a youth, but also as a country. I therefore urge you today to embrace a broader reality. Don't just be loyal to your tribe, don't just be loyal to your culture and friends, be loyal to your country. Our country, a nation, is a tapestry. It strengthens ties and it weaves us together in that tapestry. See yourself first and foremost as a citizen, a builder of something larger than any single group. Me, I come from the western part of the country, but I mentored a young lady who said, no, this mentorship should go to the rest of the youth. Now imagine if she had been selfish and said, no, for me it has to only be Ddamulira to mentor me. She would probably never have met General Ddamulira if she had been selfish. Does it bring context now? You don't be selfish because of your grouping, where you come from, or where God put you, because all of us, God in His amazing grace, put us where we are, but we must live beyond that for the good of our country. You are the coming generation of leaders. And I know that has been said over and over again. We are the leaders of tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is still there. You're still going to lead this country. You as professionals, I'm happy that I speak to people who speak the same language with me. When we were here about 20 years ago, we used to call ourselves learning friends. So I'm talking to learning friends and great thinkers. Jen already alluded to how much you think. Sometimes, of course, you think negatively with the negativity that is on TikTok, and there's punishment for that. You have seen some of your TikTokers or your bloggers where they have ended, especially those that have abused the law. But I want to encourage you today not to live in a vacuum. Your decisions, what you create, what you defend, who you elect have profound consequences. I'm not going to go into politics because I don't want to V and the press to misquote me, but I want you to know that who you vote this week has serious consequences to you as an individual and to the rest of the country, and to us and to the fellow citizens, your brothers and sisters at home, your parents. I keep saying, people say that leaders are corrupt. But you're going to see, because we know that leaders who are corrupt in this country, not so. We know them. If I asked you to write their names, some of you would mention the obvious names. But you're going to see the same leaders coming back to power. Why? Because you decided to keep away or to give a blind eye. So I want to encourage you to choose leaders that espouse the values that build the nation, not those who exploit its divisions, okay? Hold them and yourselves to the highest standard. Hold your leaders to the highest standard. You're lucky you have gone to school. Go back and tell your people, Ebulemezi, Ewakiso, Masaka, Ntibanange, ono mukulembeze, tajja bisobola. Because you are better enlightened. Don't be emotionally attached to your tribe, to your religion, or political leaning, to the point that truth and justice becomes secondary consideration to you. Don't be a liability to mankind because you have failed to make the right choices. Yes, young people, it is true we face challenges. Even our officers, we face challenges. As government workers, General and my boss, the IGG, will tell you there are things that they see and they're not happy about, but what do? They keep on keeping on. We don't exaggerate the struggles of your country. General Ddamulira alluded to that. What you post on the internet, it's not against an individual. It's against your country. People are not going to come here to build industries and therefore you won't get jobs. it creates a ripple effect. So let's be very responsible in what we post. Let's be responsible in how we talk about our country. Every nation has its own journey and it has its own challenges. This first world class that we all admire and cling to go to or live by, they went through stages. Let's not be impatient with development. Ours is ongoing. It is uniquely ours. Whatever is not right in our country, you have a part to play to make it right. At this level, you have a part to vote. Your part is to vote and vote the right leaders. Don't vote popularity because somebody is popular and they're not able to deliver, and then you go and vote those people. I'm telling you things that work. I have lived in this country. I'm not very old, by the way. As you can see, I'm not a very old person, but I'm also not very young. At least I started working before you were born. In fact, I finished university before they were born. Yes, because I finished university 24 years ago. Were you born? Very few. Okay, just a handful of you were born. So I speak out of experience. I speak out of things that I have seen. I grew up as an orphan. I never saw my dad. My dad didn't die of natural sickness. No, he was kidnapped and killed. No, how was he kidnapped? He was kidnapped from his family, tortured before his children. By then I was very young. And then taken away. Over 40 years ago, we have never seen him. So I'm talking things, not things I have read, but things that I have seen. Let us be determined. True patriotism is not blind celebration. It is the commitment to roll up your sleeves and do what? And be committed to your country and make a contribution. You being here today, you're making a contribution to your country. I did this. You see, when we were in law school, there are those who attended such free seminars, and there are those who didn't attend. And some of us who attended, you can see us, me and the IGG. Yes, we listened more than we spoke, and no wonder we are where we are. She's also a young lady. Don't look at her and be deceived. But you can see that she's a young lady, not so? So as you step forward from this place, choose to be different in a world that often encourages selfishness. You have received this knowledge, please pass it on. A world that encourages fragmentation and short-term gain. See far. You see far. Let me tell you, the benefit of being here today is that tomorrow when you meet Ddamulira, of course he's also a young man, you see him there. He's a young man. Jeno, I know your age. I was there telling the IGG that you see him there, you think he's old. I know him. And he knows I know him because we work together in the Ministry of Defense. He's still a young man. Why are young people taking over leadership? Because that's the transition you've been asking for. Maybe the only difference is that it's you not in power. But we're also young people, okay? The ones that you want. And it goes back to what I told you. Don't be inclined to identity, to tribe, to religion, because the IGG will tell you, me and her have seen tribesmates betray each other. We have seen people who are politically inclined to the same party betray each other. So we must treat people as people, see people